Hey guys, Carlos here with Bearable Traders, and here's my recap for today. I had a pretty rough start with KHC today. Just didn't trade it well at all, and I'll go through it now. So right at the open, actually my first trade was going to be NTNX. Let's look at that first. So I didn't have NTNX on my watch list. This was my watch list here, but NTNX popped up in our scanners. Also, members in the chat room were talking about NTNX. It was in the turbo breakdown, was really lighting up the turbo breakdown. So as you can see here, it popped up at the open, sold off really nice. I'm looking for that 5-minute pullback. I don't get it, but I was waiting for it to pull back here. Once it started selling off and I saw there was no sign of this pulling back and it looked very weak, I did send my order in to get filled. Unfortunately, sent it in right at the 9:35 candle, did not get filled, started dropping, canceled that one, sent in another order sitting on the ask to get filled. And again, that one also didn't get filled. So the third time I said, you know, I'm not going to continue to chase this. I don't want to get caught with a bad entry and a squeeze. But it just kept dropping. It just continued to drop all the way to 32.40. Just a beautiful short. So no love for me there on NNTX. Then my next trade was KHC. So on KHC, what I saw here is, again, it had all this buying pressure, came all the way up here, got rejected, came back down. Then again, all this selling pressure came down here, popped back up. So right before this pop, I got in long. I got in long here, expecting it was going to continue to get higher. Once I saw this candle here, didn't lose anymore. And then it drops. The minute it dropped, I took everything out here. I did go heavy in this trade, unfortunately, and I paid the price for that here. Then the next trade, it settled in a little bit. It looked like it was kind of going to hold these moving averages. Andrew actually took this trade. I actually got in before Andrew, so when he got in, it was also great to hear that he was possibly seeing the same thing I was seeing. But again, just he mentioned in his recap, it just didn't get no continuation at all. So I got in, nothing happened. He jumped in, nothing happened. So I just got out a little bit less than break even when he got out as well, because it just didn't give us anything. As you can see, glad we did, because it just dropped and lost it here again. Then here I did a scalp on EA, a quick scalp on EA around 10 o'clock or so, nothing fancy. But then here on KHC, I came back to this stock, and what I saw was that it was kind of, let me show you the 1-minute chart, see, it might be better. Yeah, so on the 1-minute chart here, you can see it was kind of, I thought it was going to do a double top at first. So I'm like, you know what, let me wait to see if this is going to be a short. I can take a short back to VWAP. So I waited. The minute it did this here and it started coming back down, here's when I hesitated. I was thinking, okay, let's see what it does here. I want to see that it's actually going to lose and start, you know, selling down. It didn't. It started actually bouncing back of these moving averages here. And once it came above this peak, I'm like, this could be a long, actually. This could be just a regular pullback, and it could break the high at that moment, high of the day, which was here, and go, you know, towards the new level we had at 33.50. So took a very small amount of shares, guys. I only made like 40 bucks in this trade. This was more of a, you know, let's see if my thought process is right here. I wasn't too confident on the trade, and I already had lost twice in this stock earlier this morning, so I didn't want to add on to that. So took a small trade here, small amount of shares. It worked out pretty nice here. What I should have done here is I should have added on the way up here. That's what I should have done. Even here, this consolidation, I should have added more shares. But again, I just didn't do that. Once it stopped, the momentum slowed down. It was such a small amount. I just took everything off here. Then I was going to be done for my day, but then OKTA was being mentioned in the chat room. I don't recall if it hit our gapper scanners, but it was being mentioned in the chat room heavy. So I tuned into it. I didn't trade it right away that it was mentioned, because it was mentioning more towards, you know, how bad it was selling off, and the SPY was also selling off at the same time. Let me get the charts here. So right over here, once it started curling up here, I figured this could be a good long here. This looks like it wants to get back at least to the VWAP, or, you know, a higher level. So I got in long. When I realized that, okay, this actually looks really good after I got in, I added some more right here, right away. And then from there, it just took off nicely, slowly riding up, riding up. Took some profits out at 78. And then from here, I had a limit order. I took most of it out at 78, actually, because I realized, okay, this is a dollar move. That's a big move. So I took most of it out there. Then what I did, let me give you guys the big picture here. You gotta zoom out. Okay. So I set a stop loss at 78 after the dip. So after this dip here, it started coming back up again. And I said, you know what, maybe this could squeeze up and get to newer highs. So around this area, I set a stop at 78, stop limit order. And then from there, it almost stops me out. It comes right to it, but it does not. I had a order to get me out at 78. Didn't do that. It continues to go up. And then right at the close, I came back to close my position. So I took half off here, and then I left just half, just in case we're going to get, you know, sometimes at the end of the day, you get those squeezes. You get a squeeze that can, you know, go higher. So it did push up here, and I just took the rest out here. So this turned out to be a very good trade. I was actually going to be done for the day until I saw this great opportunity here that turned out great. So again, just what I saw here, guys, is just a reversal. Look at the moving averages, right? A lot of traders trade this. I don't usually trade this type of style, but look at the breakout. You got all the moving averages coming below and crossing. Once I got in, I realized that, you know, this actually could be a really good trade. So I added some more, and it turned out to be a really nice trade on OKTA. So that was my trading for today. Again, I had 2 stocks on here that were traded really nice. They were not on the watch list this morning, but they came up on the scanners, and some of them mentioned by the members. So thank you guys whoever brought this up. I was looking at the chat room, and I was able to catch these moves. So hope you had an amazing day. Tune in tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time at the pre-market show, so we can go over our watch list. Andrew traded CIFS today. That stock traded amazingly. So let's go over that tomorrow and see what else the market has for us on Tuesday. Take care, guys.